Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Thursday, October 1st, 2020. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Welcome to the new month of trading. Just a quick heads up here, I will be hosting the monthly market outlook later on this afternoon at 4 o'clock p.m. Central Time. You can find the link to the Zoom webinar in the description below and in the summary here, so you can click that later on this afternoon and pop right in. We will be discussing higher level time frame analysis here for the futures markets, including seasonality, and we'll also look at candidates heading into the rest of the month and into the end of the year from both a short and long perspective. So please join us later on this afternoon at 4 o'clock p.m. Central using the Zoom link in the description below. All right, let's take a look here at the ES. You'll notice that the ES is up here early on, and one thing that we want to keep an eye on this month is this line right there. That line right there is the 33.92 half. 33.92 half. That's the previous month's midpoint. Here's the previous month's high, previous month's low, and we closed right here. We're testing that midpoint. That's going to be the early litmus test here for the month. If there's any rejection here in this zone, we rotate right back to the month low and retest it here and maybe trade more in this lower edge. If price can find acceptance above that zone, perhaps we can fill in the upper portion of this profile in the upper half of this range. So right now, the 33.92 half up to 3400, very important zone of resistance here. If price can get through that area, we may open it up for the early portion of the month. Otherwise, failing at the zone rotates price back to the previous month's low price. So very early pivot here to watch between 33.92 half and 3400. Here's the NQ. The NQ also pushing that previous month's midpoint right there and is currently above that point just a little bit here. That's the 11,560 level. Previous month's highs here, previous month's lows here, previous month's midpoint is right there. We're right at it, right at resistance. This has been a zone of resistance where price has turned down multiple times to new lows. A new low would take it right down to the previous month's low right here if it rejects in this point here. This has been a really good push so far. In the previous session we talked about a bullish outside day could be developing, and it did. Eventually it went away, but it still showed strength overall, still holding on the higher low, still pushing higher right now. So everything is still continuing higher in the near term, but we got to watch this zone for early signs of rejection, because if it fails to hold here, say it fails to hold 520 today, 11,526, which is the previous session's high, that could begin to rotate things back down. So again, right now, testing a major area here, 11,560, which is the previous month's midpoint. Failure at that level could rotate back down to the previous month's low, and through that level opens up the upper distribution of this range. Alright, let's take a look now at crude oil. Now crude oil down about 1 1/3% here today. It's still stuck in the range. We talked about the potential for a breakout here recently, and we got a huge move down that day, but we're still kind of stuck in the range. We still haven't gotten outside of this range yet. And again, that's building energy. It's right at the middle portion of the previous month's range. Previous month's high, previous month's low, previous month's midpoint. Look at that pivot range, almost all one level there, as this thing completely compresses around that zone. So another breakout is coming. 40 continues to be the key level here that it's chopping around. That's also the FOMC key level from September. So again, 40 is the key level. Which way we're going to go away from that level? Are we going to rally up to 43.5, top of the key range here, or are we going to drop back down to the bottom of the key range, 36s? Again, equidistant move since we're right at the center of the previous month's range. One way or another, we're about to hit one of these edges. And again, this market has had a tough time finding strength here lately. So we may see another push downward if this thing can't find acceptance above 41s pretty quickly. All right, let's take a look lastly at gold futures. Gold futures pushing higher again, 1915s right now, 1911, continuing to push higher. 1915 is the high of the day. We've seen this market continue to hold above the 1874s. I mentioned even a pullback as deep as that zone could still be bought. for a move to this HVN and that key level above. So we still have more upside ahead. Now, one thing I did caution is that given the downside break, given the bearish PEMA trigger zone, given the lower value relationship that we now have, any push into the pivot range here, primarily speaking, will be seen as a selling opportunity by gold bears. So this is the prime opportunity to look for selling pressure here. Now, if this move fails and you get a higher low of some sort, it will break that that lower value relationship, and any push through the top of the range there becomes an opportunity to squeeze it back up. So right now, kind of seeing bulls take control of this 1874s, but bears right here coming in the pivot range have a shot to take this thing downward. So this is going to be the spot to watch here early on. As long as price can continue to hold above 1874, we have a shot to continue higher. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this develops heading into the rest of the session. Please join me later on this afternoon at 4 o'clock p.m. Central for the monthly market outlook for the month of October. The link is below. All right, everyone, have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the trading room. Take care.